Episode 2. The First Clue. Emma stood silently at the edge of the forest. The morning breeze gently moved the grass around her as she stared at the toy resting in her hands. It was impossible to mistake. This was Max's favorite toy, the one he carried almost everywhere. For a moment, Emma felt hope, real hope. For the first time since the storm, she knew one thing for certain. Max had been here, but the question remained. Where was he now? Determined to find answers, Emma stepped onto the forest trail. The trees towered above her, their branches swaying softly in the wind. Every sound made her stop and listen. Every rustle in the bushes made her heart race. Could it be Max? Was he nearby? Several times she called his name. Max! But only silence answered. Hours passed. The deeper she searched, the more exhausted she became. Eventually, she returned to town. That afternoon, Emma began putting up missing dog posters throughout Willow Creek. Shop windows, street corners, bus stops, anywhere people might see them. Soon, nearly everyone in town knew Max was missing. Many offered to help, some promised to keep watch. Others shared stories of dogs that had gone missing and eventually found their way home. Their kindness comforted Emma. But as the days passed, Max remained missing. 3 days later, Emma sat alone inside a small cafe near the town square. A warm cup of coffee rested untouched on the table. Her eyes looked tired. She had spent every waking hour searching. Yet she felt no closer to finding Max. Just as she was about to leave, her phone rang. Emma immediately answered. Hello? The voice on the other end belonged to an elderly farmer. I think I saw your dog. Emma nearly dropped the phone. What? A golden retriever near the old river bridge. Her heart began racing. Are you sure? I can't guarantee it was him, but he looked a lot like the dog on your posters. That was all Emma needed to hear. Within minutes, she was on her way. The old river bridge sat on the edge of town where the forest met the countryside. When Emma arrived, she immediately began searching. The river flowed quietly beneath the bridge. Birds chirped overhead. Everything seemed peaceful. Too peaceful, she searched along the riverbank, behind nearby trees, across walking trails. But once again, there was no sign of Max. The afternoon slowly slipped away. Disappointment began creeping back into her heart. Maybe she had gotten her hopes up too soon. Maybe the farmer had been mistaken. Just as she turned to leave, something caught her attention. Near the edge of the riverbank, partially hidden among the grass, was a small metal object. Emma hurried over. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. It was Max's collar tag, there was no doubt. His name was engraved on the front. The sight of it sent a wave of emotions through her. Relief, fear, hope, confusion. Max had definitely been here, but why was his tag lying beside the river? What had happened? As Emma examined the tag, she suddenly heard movement behind her. A dog emerged from the trees, a beautiful border collie. The dog approached carefully before sniffing the tag in Emma's hand. Then its tail began wagging. Emma looked up. A moment later, a man stepped out from the forest path. Tall, friendly, and carrying an easy smile. Sorry about her, he said. She gets curious about everything. Emma managed a small smile. It's okay. The man walked closer. His border collie sat obediently beside him. For a brief moment, neither of them spoke. Then his eyes fell upon the tag. His expression changed. You found that here? Emma nodded. Well, it belongs to my dog. The man looked surprised. A golden retriever? Emma's heart skipped a beat. Yes. The man hesitated, then he slowly nodded. I thought so. Emma stared at him. What do you mean? The man looked toward the forest, then back at Emma. I think I've seen him. For a moment, the world seemed to stop. After days of searching, after days of fear and uncertainty, someone might finally have a real answer, but Emma had no idea that meeting this stranger would change far more than her search for Max. Because sometimes, people who enter our lives unexpectedly end up changing them forever. To be continued.